Hello and welcome to this very special Wednesday Rocksmith developer stream. I am your host and community developer Doug Lilly, and what are we doing here today? It's not Thursday. Tomorrow is July 4th, and here in the United States, it's a holiday, so none of us will be in the office tomorrow. So we decided we'll do the stream on Wednesday. We are live from Ubisoft Studio San Francisco, and today we are going to look at the newest DLC, Rocksmith Intermediate Exercises, Volume 1. This exercise pack was again created by note tracker Greg Studley. So let's go ahead and take a look at that, and we'll be back to talk more about what we're going to do today. It'll be fun. We'll see you in just a moment. And welcome back. We are once again live. So if this is your first time watching, usually, well, first off, welcome. Normally, what we would do is we would play through all of this week's DLC with maybe an extra bonus song. If you saw our first exercise pack stream that was for the Rocksmith Easy Exercises Volume 1, you'll notice we're going to run these a little bit differently. It's going to be closer to an encore, and we're going to take a look at a little bit of each of the exercises and then utilize those techniques in a song from the library that's not an exercise or drill. So with us, who better to talk about these exercises than Andrew Levin? How's it going, Andrew?
Yeah, going good.
Could you bring your mic in just to talk?
Yeah.
I want to talk.
Yeah. What's up?
Yeah,
So I wrote all these exercises and recorded them all myself.
That's cool.
Then he handed them to me.
And then you just scratch his name off and
Yeah, pretty
put yours
much.
on. That's cool.
You know, he did all the hard work.
Yeah,
I did all the. I listened to it and.
Yeah.
It's like, cool.
And stuff.
And Greg Studley, the actual creator of this pack and the Easy Exercises pack. Yeah. So what does intermediate mean to you?
Yeah, we should talk about that. Being that this is not the same as the easy
I thought
pack.
Andrew was going to give like a huge sigh.
Oh no! I
I'm
just
in
needed
for
to
it now.
breathe.
Yeah. Okay. Well, now's a great time.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're all good, man.
Yeah.
So the idea of the intermediate pack is in the easy pack, we'll relate it back to that one.
Sure.
Is we went from a span of 60 beats per minute to 120 beats per minute. That's the tempo of the song that we're talking about.
Increased.
And it gradually increases as you're going through. And everything was based around the idea of quarter notes, meaning one note per beat. So what we've done in this pack is the tempos you will see are exactly the same. You'll still see 60 beats per minute all the way up to 120 beats per minute. But now you're playing eighth notes, meaning you're playing 2 notes for every beat. And what we've done is we've taken the exercises and actually made the finger patterns themselves more complex.
Right.
So we both increased the note density, and at the same time, we actually increased the complexity of what your fingers are having to do.
So that's why the jump between difficulty. That's where the jump in difficulty lies.
That's why this is different than the
Increase
easy.
note density,
Yeah, note density,
increase
which
in
means you're going to play
complexity.
faster.
Right.
And the complexity of what you are playing, and those two things really do make this more of an intermediate pack as opposed to an easy pack.
Okay. Cool. A little bit of logistical stuff that I sort of skipped over when we first get here. Like I said, this stream is going to run a little bit differently from our usual Thursday streams. One of the things being it's on Wednesday, but that's just because of the holiday. It's not because of the pack. But we are still going to take questions. So if you have any questions for us, make sure you reach out to Brian Turner. That is the Rocksmith community manager. He is UB Jurassic in the chat. He is there with you. Say hi, Brian. And we are going to be having some giveaways later on in the stream, including a couple of Ernie Ball prize packs and some copies of today's DLC. So much like the first time with the easy exercises, we're going to take a look at some sections of the exercises of these drills.
Indeed.
And then we're going to use those techniques in a song.
Because they're always used over and over again.
Yeah, right.
And just to reiterate what they are, what the techniques are. So this pack uses the same 5 techniques that were used in the previous. You have linear playing, which to define that is playing across one string. You have string skipping, meaning jumping over a string. You have string switching, going between 2 adjacent strings. And we actually did do a small modification in this, in which we actually did some combining of hammer-ons and pull-offs to create hammer-on pull-off exercises, where you do a hammer-on first followed by a pull-off. And also the reverse, we did pull-off hammer-on exercises, where you start with a pull-off and then immediately have to do a hammer-on without re-attacking the string.
Yeah, and I think this time around we're going to try as much as possible to keep both players on the same instrument for the exercises, because there was a bit of
fun last time. We'll call it
UI
fun.
which was fun.
Yeah, we'll call it fun.
Yeah. So let's go ahead and take a look at the first exercises. This is string skipping, and you're both playing on the guitar path.
Yes, and we're going to start this all the way at the beginning, so you know what your starting point would be on these exercises.
So the slowest speed for all of the exercises.
And 60 beats per minute.
Yeah.
And just a reminder, tempo will increase as you play the exercise.
Yeah, that tempo increase will be represented in the lyrics.
I don't even remember this. Did I make this up? Oh, it's that. Should have helped me out there, Andrew. I heard that slide.
I heard some harmony in there.
Interesting.
I don't think
You can choose to put vibrato if you want.
That's interesting.
So you're still doing kind of you could call it like a linear pattern, where you're doing your fingers in sequential order, but you're having to jump over the strings while you're moving them in order.
Right, and again, like the first pack, you really want to keep your hand locked into the anchor position.
Yes, the anchor position is going to tell you which finger to use at any point in time.
Yeah.
So like now we're going to speed up. We're going to be at anchor 3, and so we're going to kind of be able to span from 3 to 6.
A lot of it reminds me of like some cool, like diminished and altered scale kind of patterns.
Oh, nice.
I've actually been practicing really similar stuff to this recently.
So you've been altering your practice, or do you think it's diminished over time?
Both.
Oh, I thought I stumped you for a minute there. Move the hand up.
Let's start
Oh, yeah. We can either stop or go.
Well, looks well, you started this one, so let's finish out this phrase.
Oh, that's cool.
The cool thing is you play one of these things right in the middle of a blues jam. We're going to get some heads turning. People are going to be like, whoa, what are you playing?
If you played it at a jazz jam, people would be like, oh, that's it.
Oh, that one? Oh, I've heard that one before. Yeah. So you get the idea of the exercise. I mean, that was two full cycles of it, you could say, moving up the neck.
Yeah. We had a question already. This one is from the Divine Sage, a regular here in the chat.
Hello, Divine Sage.
Hello. So this is something we touched on during the easy exercise pack, but I think it's probably important to talk about anytime we approach these exercises. They want to know, Divine Sage wants to know if these are supposed to be alternate picked.
Oh, so the easy pack, when we did talk about that, the cool thing was because those were quarter notes and they were slow enough, I think we made the suggestion that if you're not yet comfortable with alternate picking, it would be a really good introduction to it because the notes are moving so slow. But in these exercises, the traditional way would be to alternate pick it. But another nice option is if you're not comfortable with economy picking, this would be a great exercise to learn how to do it as well. Yeah. And so if we're not, maybe we defined the two.
Yeah. I think maybe what we discussed last time was that no matter what you do, if you're all downstrokes, if you're alternate picking, if you're on bass and you're just using your fingers, pick one and just stick with it through the exercise.
Oh, yeah. Trying to kind of alternate around would probably just be confusing for you. But if you can hold a system in place from start to finish, that'll solidify it for you.
Right. Yeah. The whole idea of these is just consistency and precision, making sure you hit everything this is as same as equally as you can.
Yeah, I mean, you want to get your speed, accuracy, and technique, all in place there.
What was that, your speed, accuracy, and technique? That sounds familiar.
Interesting.
I wonder if there's a...
Do you like books, Doug?
I wonder if... I do like books. I was an English major.
That's why you're good with the words.
It is. When I don't stumble over them.
Yeah, like I just did when I said the word
sure,
accuracy.
Sure.
Accuracy.
So yeah, why does that sound familiar?
Oh, well, it's from my book, Speed, Accuracy, and Technique for Guitar.
Really?
And Bass.
This feels really natural.
It does.
Where can people find those?
Did anyone write a sigh just then?
I think /sigh.
Okay.
No, I
think
there is a MooBot command, so we'll probably be seeing some direction to where people can find any of your books.
I think it's more fun in the game, personally, because you get a backing track if you do it in the game.
Right. So let's go ahead and take a look at the next exercise. So the next exercise is hammer offs, which it's
hammer on pull offs.
Well, it's hammer off, pull on. Wait.
That's deep.
Wait.
English major?
No, I just wrote it. I wrote it backwards. I actually don't know. Hammer on,
English
pull
major.
off. Yeah. I think I wrote them all.
I thought you were just trying to mess with us, man.
No, it almost worked.
I just wrote it wrong. It's fine. We'll switch things around.
Why don't we do the hammer? Why don't we do the hammer on pull off one instead?
Let's do that one instead, since that's what's
since it's here,
since it's loaded up.
And I didn't write the other one.
Yeah.
So this is a nice combination of. Thank you. Oh, I like that delay. This is a nice combination of doing both hammer-ons and pull-offs within a single. A single pick. So it's definitely good for keeping the notes sustaining while you're learning how to do this. So here you just want to pick, hammer, pull, pick, hammer, pull. You could even sing along. Cool. I'm not doing it.
more of a chant.
Someone else can even sing along. How about that?
Pick, hammer, pull. Pick,
I knew somebody would pull. Pick, hammer, pull. Everybody. Pick, hammer, pull. Pick, hammer, pull. Pick, hammer, pull. I'm still not sure if I'm the top or the bottom on this, Andrew. I guess it really doesn't matter though, does it?
Oh,
Well,
actually,
it's the same content.
You know
Either
what?
way.
I think I'm technically the bottom.
Well, then stop looking at my part of the screen. Feel about that vibrato on that last note, man. And the key, the hardest part about this is actually getting that very last note. Because that last note is the one where if you don't get that pull off just right, that string is not going to really resonate anymore. So certainly that last note is going to pay attention to when you're playing to see if you're hitting it.
Yeah, yeah.
Particularly with your second and third finger. I think, you know, a lot of people skip that. Right here.
And I think a lot of people don't necessarily practice hammer-on and pull-off with their pinky, but this is really going to force you to do it. So do remember to, you know, keep your hand in position so you can get these and be able to get those hammer-on pull-offs with those fingers. And if you find you're not getting them a lot, you can always recalibrate to ensure that it's receiving what you want.
Yeah,
there.
yeah. That's good. I think now's the time.
So are we going to apply this?
We're gonna
do this in a tune?
Switch.
We're going to do it in a tune.
So the first song that we're going to play, that they're going to play, I'm not playing anything today, is Supermassive Black Hole by Muse. Now, why did we select this song?
Oh, there's a
Do you
lot of
remember?
skipping.
there's a lot of skipping.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I believe in both the guitar and the bass part, there's a good amount of string skipping.
Yeah.
And I think some hammer-on pull-offs that we found. I don't remember if it was specifically in the bass or the guitar part.
There's some in the guitar.
In the guitar part, then.
Yeah.
But and especially for bass, the concept of playing an octave, jumping over a string in order to do that is such a fundamental part of playing bass.
Yeah.
That you're going to have to get that technique down as a bass player. So the exercise really pays off when you take on a song like this where you're going to be doing those octaves.
Okay.
Yeah. It's a very similar pattern, actually, to the exercise because it's going kind of like double picking.
Oh, yeah.
Going up, up one string.
Agreed.
All right. Well, let's take a look. This is Supermassive Black Hole by Muse. Don't forget, if you have questions, ask UB Jurassic in the chat.
I have to do a quick tune on it, but it looks like sweet.
All right.
Nice.
Hopefully we're calibrated close enough. We'll find out.
We'll say close
Yeah.
enough. We'll say close enough. This is always such a fun tune.
Yeah.
Oh, I love Muse. This part's really cool.
At this rate, you get all those octave jumps for the bass part, which is a lot of fun.
Yeah, and I think it's like your hand anchor position is extremely important.
Oh, for those, yeah. That totally worked at the end. That was good.
Yeah.
There was a little harmonic.
No, but I mean the dive at the end.
Yeah.
I was like, is that in there? I was like, that totally works at the end of the tune. Nice.
So earlier in the stream, the Dark Messiah noted that was the first. We've had the Divine Stage, Dark Messiah. I don't know if they're.
It's great
the
to see all of
sound
you.
or if they're butting heads. Dark Messiah said that was their first song that they played in Rocksmith.
Oh.
Yeah, and last week I saw in chat after the stream, I saw that the Dark Messiah said that they hit their 500-day milestone, 500 consecutive days playing. Great job.
That's
Great
awesome.
Job. I'd like to hear how you feel you've progressed.
You've earned a
From day
vacation.
one.
That's awesome, man. 500 days.
Or keep playing. Bring a travel guitar. Yeah, no, that's really impressive. And thank you for letting us know about that. And let's see. Jean308 has a question about the song.
What do we got?
They want to know if parts of the solo were recorded in reverse.
Oh,
What do you think?
Yeah,
This is
that's a good question.
It's probably speculation.
Yeah. Yeah, it sounds like it could have been. It sounded almost more like some sort of sustain thing, like some sort of sustain pedal, Not like a piano sustain pedal, like a guitar sustain,
Yeah.
like the Super Ego by Electroharmonic, something like that. But I could listen to it again. It could totally be in reverse. I honestly looked at it before the stream and was focused more on learning the parts. But I will check it out.
Actually, on that thread, I'd be curious to know what you think. For people that record solos that way, like if they record them in reverse, do you ever see like live footage of those same bands playing those solos the way that it was recorded, like essentially playing it backwards but live?
Yeah. Well, I mean, the thing is, most of the time when you're doing backwards stuff, you're doing a backwards delay pedal and then just turning the wet dry all the way to 100% wet, and so in that case, you're kind of getting a delayed version of what you're actually playing. So if you're setting it to a quarter note delay, then it'll play back what you played backwards, but a quarter note later.
Oh, that seems even more complicated than just playing the solo backwards.
Yeah, it is. It is. Yeah, it's like Castles Made of Sand, Jimi Hendrix.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So that solo is he is just reverse delay. You're gonna get a different effect if you just take a note and pull it backwards. It sounded almost a little too deliberate to be played backwards, but I could be 100% wrong about that, so I'm not gonna say anything.
So I think our final answer is we don't know.
Yeah.
I'm comfortable with that one.
Yeah. You could probably look it up. There's so many like gear pages online.
Yeah.
Like look up what gear he uses and what gear he used on that song.
And then let us know if you find out.
Yeah.
Now I'm quite curious.
Yeah.
Actually, now I'm gonna have to find out.
Well, thank you, Andrew, for joining us.
Yeah.
Greg, why don't you stick around?
Sure thing, man.
We're going to go ahead and do our first giveaway today. This is for an Ernie Ball prize pack. If you're interested in winning one of these Ernie Ball prize packs, please listen to what UB Jurassic is saying in the chat. That is Brian Turner. He is your community manager. He's over in North Carolina hanging out with us. It's a bit late for him, so we appreciate him sticking around. So yeah, if you wanted a chance to win one of these, listen to what he says in the chat. He will give you instructions. Just note that you do need to follow the channel in order to win. But if you do win, you will get 2 sets of strings from Ernie Ball, regular slinky, one for your 6-string guitar, one for your bass. You're going to get a dozen picks from Ernie Ball. You're going to get 3 picks from us that we throw in as a little bonus. You're going to get a black Ernie Ball strap, a package of Ernie Ball Wonder Wipes, and a peg winder, all from Ernie Ball. And if you win, make sure you listen or look for a whisper from UB Jurassic. He will get from you your full name, your shipping address, and your telephone number. We need all of that information in order to ship your prizes to you, which I should be able to do right after today's stream. And they probably won't go out until Friday or Monday this week because of the holiday. But, you know, it might be a few days later than you would normally get it. But it's free stuff, and it's cool, and you'll get it. Don't worry. And then, yeah, just make sure you let him know all that information and get that to us. And once the raffle is concluded, if you have any more questions for us, please at UbiJurassic in the chat so that we can get those questions and have Greg try to think on his feet. It's fun. Speaking of Greg, welcome back, Greg Studley.
Thinking on my feet, man.
That's a good throw.
Nice.
Nice.
Yeah,
Nice.
I'm getting better at it. With us right now, Akshay Balakrishnan. How you doing?
Hi, I'm good.
You're quite the regular. I like.
Thanks.
That's good.
Thanks.
That's a good thing.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not. I guess it's not. It's just more of an observation than a compliment, but I meant it as a compliment.
I feel put on the spotlight anyway.
Yeah. All
Either
right.
way. No, it's cool.
How are you thinking on your feet?
Not great.
No.
there's a thing happening back at my desk that's
Oh, no.
honestly sitting a little bit on my mind, but
Okay.
it's fine. I'm here, ready to play,
All right.
ready to have a good time.
Let's
All right.
do it.
Ready to learn from Professor Studley.
I wouldn't go that far.
Yeah.
So we're gonna, linear playing. So last time when we had our
Ooh, yeah.
bassist, we talked about linear playing, and it seems something that comes up a lot for bass. Honestly, all of these techniques show up a lot for all of the paths, but it's worked out nicely to have linear playing for both of these.
I think we have found that it's showing up more often as we're looking for it
Yeah.
in bass arrangements.
Yeah.
Which maybe
Makes sense. I think.
maybe it really is a thing that, you know, bassists will do more. I mean, you know, as far as like scale runs, you'd normally find it more in a guitar part, but maybe for like
Right.
linear playing, like chromatic lines across the string, you're going to find it more in a bass part.
Yeah.
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 Also depending on the genre. You know,
Right.
that you-
Right.
and
And
more like
for
in some than
the
others.
songs that we've used, I think for a large part, it's mostly what you and I are most familiar with within the library.
Probably
so
because
we're
we're
just-
picking the songs.
We're picking the songs that we know because we play them,
Makes sense.
so we know what the pieces are like. So you're getting a look into the tastes of Greg Studley and myself. Is that fair
Yeah.
to say?
Yeah, it's
Okay.
fair. That's
All right.
fair.
All right.
Two great tastes, as they say.
They do
Right?
say that.
No?
So yeah, let's go ahead and take a look.
All I can think about is like a swirled ice cream at this
Yeah.
point. Sorry, I must be hungry.
You just ate.
I did. I know.
So let's go ahead and take a look at the linear playing exercise.
Yeah.
Now we're going to start about halfway through the
Yeah.
exercise. There we go.
Mm.
So that you can get a better idea of the speed increase of the different packs, and they all increase at the same rate.
They will all increase at the same rate. Yeah, for sure. You'll see the same numbers popping up, and in all of them you will be playing eighth notes at each one of the speeds.
Okay. All right. Let's take a look at linear playing from the intermediate exercises.
How does this one go?
Probably chromatically.
Oh, reverse. That was clever. Actually, another reason we wanted to do this one is to show if you're playing with a friend and these are separate bass and guitar arrangements, you really can't play a guitar arrangement and a bass arrangement at the same time. But if you did want to play with a friend, you could certainly both play a bass arrangement and, as we're doing today, just have the guitar do an emulated bass.
Right.
Oh, that was happening.
So
Guitar
it's a
just
nice
won't
option.
use the entirety of its strings.
I mean, who doesn't want to play this with their friends? See, I didn't hear any argument from anyone. Did you?
Too busy.
Sounds good, man.
Thanks.
So you're using your pinky?
I am.
Why are you doing that?
Because it's really handy.
Yeah. All right. So yeah, that's a look. So it's about twice as fast. You're
Mhm.
going through 'em about twice as fast as the easy
Oh, yeah.
exercises, and you're ascending and descending, which I.
We
the
did, yeah.
first-
We also did that in this pack. We made it so very often when you switch to the next string,
Yeah.
you're reversing your finger pattern, and that's what we were talking about as far as kind of upping the complexity of what's
Right.
going on. That's all due to kind of finger patterns changing a little bit and switching direction, and how often you're kind of going from string to string.
Yeah.
So we tried to modify to really bump it up a level.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's go ahead and take a look at the song that you're going to play. So this is
Bill Withers.
This is it is not Bill Withers this
Aw,
time.
man.
Not this one.
But it's
Oh.
this is one of my favorite songs
Is it
in
Wonderwall?
Rocksmith. It is not Wonderwall.
Okay.
You know what the song is.
just calling out random tunes.
Are you just naming your favorite song?
I have a
No,
feeling we know what
no.
Akshay would pick.
No, we know what's
Something
coming up.
nice and easy to demonstrate linear
So
playing.
to demonstrate linear playing, we're going to take a look at Mind Eraser, No Chaser by Them Crooked Vultures, which is a super group, a super group with Josh Homme, Dave Grohl, and John Paul Jones. So you get to play the John Paul Jones part, Akshay.
Yep.
That's,
Sure do.
that's
Yes, you do.
It's a fun part.
And you're playing the Homme part.
Yeah, it's fun.
Actually, you're playing rhythm. You're
Hey,
playing
man,
the
this
rhythm
is
part
a
on
good
this, right?
tune.
They might
I actually never played this before we kind of picked
Really?
it for the
yeah.
for the stream. So yeah, it
Yeah.
was fun to learn it.
It's one of my favorites to play. But you're playing the rhythm path, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, just the rhythm path has actually so the linear playing actually really on this one applies to the bass part. The guitar has actually still in this tune a lot of string skipping.
Yeah.
And since we kind of did that exercise first, and when I played through it, I went, oh, this is kind of still carrying that string skipping thing. So check out some of the sections, and you'll see there's a lot of jumping back and forth.
Okay. So here is Mind Eraser, No Chaser by Them Crooked Vultures. And remember, if you have questions, let UB Jurassic know in the chat.
There it is, linear.
That's so linear right now.
There's my string skipping. Oh no, I forgot this part. I don't think you're gonna have to go to the gym later, man. I think you're gonna be good.
This is something special.
Nice.
Yeah, you made it.
We did it.
Well done.
Oh my.
Yeah.
Nice.
So
yeah, it's a workout on that one.
Oh,
So how does linear playing? What does that have to do with what Akshay was just doing?
Well, I mean, there were all these runs that he's doing that he's got to use either, and sometimes it's notated as kind of the finger moving up.
Yeah.
But in other instances, it's kind of like a walk up the string and right back down with your hand just staying
And
in
you've
one
got little
spot.
sort of like skips where you.
Yeah, and sometimes
Some
you have
of
to
them.
skip over
Yeah.
fingers depending on how the line's working. So
Yeah.
I mean, there's lots of little patterns embedded in
It's
there.
a fun tune.
Oh yeah.
It's a lot
Oh,
of
yeah.
fun. It was a little bit tricky to figure out when I was supposed to like keep my hand planted to go up and down. That was
Yeah.
the signal. Be like, okay, keep your
Right.
hand planted, versus like going up, so that I can like go up and down on like a higher part. Like
That checks out.
It was funny when I was kind of playing through the bass part a few days ago. I realized for a lot of them, and you can kind of mess with this at home if you want to, is a lot of the ones that are written as kind of moving back and forth, which is how it was actually played. You can keep your hand in one spot if you find it easier to do it that way. You're going to see the note way kind of move back and forth to let you know to move your hand. But if you notice that the notes are coming up and right back down, in almost all those instances, I think you could actually keep your hand in one anchor zone and just kind of take the linear playing
Because the note
kind of aspect to it.
tracking is primarily based. It's trying to be as authentic to the way it was performed
Yes,
as
to
possible.
the person who played it.
Which may not always be the easiest way to play a song.
Not always.
Right. So and that's definitely a thing where as you play a song, you'll get to know, okay, I can just leave my hand here and I can cover this and I can shift at this point. And that just comes through practice, comes through familiarity with the song.
Yeah.
Knowing, it's much easier if I just stay here. Yeah.
It is easier if you stay there. I agree.
Yeah, I'm just gonna. This is my day now. I'm here. Okay. We're gonna take a look at a video. First, I would like to say thank you again, Akshay, for
thank you.
swinging by. And right now, we're gonna take a look at what some teachers have had to say about Rocksmith. While that's going on, make sure you listen once more to UB Jurassic in the chat because we're gonna give away 5 copies of today's Rocksmith Intermediate Exercises Volume 1 pack for Steam. So if you'd like a chance to win those, make sure you listen to what UB Jurassic is saying in the chat while you enjoy this video. I'll be back with more music after that.
If I had a guitar teacher who told me, go home and play Rocksmith for 2 hours, that's your assignment, I mean, I would think that that was the coolest guitar teacher in the world.
It combines the fun part of like a video game, but you apply all those things that you've learned, and it's a very useful tool.
Practice scales, learn songs. It's kind of a one-stop shop for everything you need.
Rocksmith is state-of-the-art, high production value software. Because of the feedback involved, you're going to get the most effective learning.
It's an amazing tool. It reacts to your level of playing, anywhere from practicing chords to scales or to actually learn a song.
Excellent performance.
Rocksmith has got a great mix of genres, folk songs to classic rock songs to metal songs. Everybody will find something in there that they love to play.
The first teacher I ever had was like Mary Had a Little Lamb, and I gave it up.
It was some hymn, hot cross buns. It was never a song that you recognized. It was just a terrible, terrible piece of music.
You want to make something enjoyable, get him playing what he likes listening to.
When you're able to show them that that's possible, that they can play like their favorite band, that gives them great motivation. As a teacher, when I'm working on a riff with somebody, you have to start very simply. The riff repeater breaks it down to as slow as you need it. Instead of a full power chord, it's just the root note. And as I improved on the spot, the game actually reacted to that and actually sped up, added more notes as I went, exactly how I like to teach students.
I think people learn different ways, and it's good to be able to learn at your own pace. So some people may really get a lot out of those mini games. Because it's fun, you want to do it more.
A student that's struggling to learn their chords could do it for an hour and not even realize they were actually practicing.
A guitar player is always in danger of plateauing at any level. You can always kind of get sick of yourself. So there's this thing called session mode. You can play along with a virtual band, and they will throw changes at you. That's an important part of being a musician, is just noodling around and discovering what sounds cool in a particular key.
Session mode can help anybody, help even me. It's great software that can be used in conjunction with regular lessons or instruction. I think a guitar teacher would probably be happy that their student was actually using the game.
It's a great practice tool. It can help a guitar teacher with their student. I think it's amazing.
It's not a big investment. It's the quickest way to learn to play guitar. The only thing I can say is just do it.
It's a fast, fun, and effective way to learn guitar.
And welcome back. As you can see, joining us. As you can't see, sorry, it's fine. It's a surprise. We'll talk about it later. Welcome back. I am Doug Lilly. You were watching the Rocksmith developer stream on a special Wednesday stream because tomorrow is the 4th of July. It's okay. You can sit down. They've already seen you. It's fine. You're welcome.
I'm like, where are you going?
Tomorrow is 4th of July in the United States. Well, I mean, it's 4th of July everywhere that uses the Julian calendar.
It's the holiday 4th of July.
But it is a holiday in the United States. So we will not be here, which is why we are streaming on a Wednesday. Streaming good.
Streaming on a Wednesday.
Wednesday.
Yes, that sounds like a tune. Streaming on a Wednesday.
Sure.
All right.
It's probably been written.
Probably.
Anyway, so what we're doing today, we are taking a look at the Rocksmith Intermediate Exercises Volume 1 pack. It is a mouthful. Could you have named it something shorter? Did you name that one?
No. Well, considering how you just reacted to it, my answer definitely will be no.
It's very descriptive. It tells you exactly what you're getting.
Pack 2.
Pack 2.
Enjoy.
Yeah. So Greg Studley is here. Greg Studley adapted and developed, recorded and tracked.
Recorded, mixed, mastered. Although, we ran a lot of this by the No Tracking team to ensure that these were the exercises that we wanted to give to the community.
Okay.
And that these were the ones that were going to be most adaptable to the game as well.
Things would be useful for if you want to make a set list that's a warm-up that includes drills. So when you sit down,
this is
go over your drills.
This is the warm-up.
Yeah. And with us, as I mentioned earlier, Brian Pody.
Hello.
Welcome.
Thank you.
It hasn't been that long.
Probably
It's been
not.
a couple weeks.
Yeah.
We had a long Pody kind of dry spell, but you're back. I'm glad to have you.
Thank you. It's good to be here.
So you were here to play the pull-off / hammer-on.
That's
exercise.
what we decided about 2 minutes ago.
Yeah. I wrote things down wrong. It's fine. It's all taken care of now. But yeah, we're gonna take a look at the pull-off exercises, which has pull-offs, then hammer-ons.
Yes, kind of a reverse of what you saw in the hammer-on pull-off exercise.
Yeah. Which is something that the easy exercise pack did not do. It did not go back and forth.
No, you either had hammer-ons or you had pull-offs, but we kind of managed a way to create combos in this one.
And we're gonna take a look at some of the last few phrases of this, so you can see how fast the exercise packs go with this pack. So let's take a look at the pull-offs exercises, and Greg Studley will talk about why this is important.
You mean right now?
Yeah, I mean, sure. Yeah. You can do two things. It's fine.
This is very important. You'll find you'll do this in songs. Wouldn't you agree, Cody? Perhaps maybe the song we're about to play after doing an exercise or two?
I have no idea if this happens in the song we're going to play.
You're not really working with me here.
This is definitely a thing that happens on an instrument, however.
Thank you. Now it's validated. I appreciate that.
You got the Brian Pody seal of approval.
I heard that.
Congratulations. You're going to hear a lot more of it.
Of course, I'm sitting next to Pody.
There's an expectation.
I won't say who it was, but we were kind of testing these out, and we realized some of these are actually harder at slower speeds. Specifically, this hammer-on pull-offs. because you have to maintain the string, you know, as you are.
Yeah.
You know, with longer notes, it's harder to keep that string ringing out.
Like keep the sort of momentum of the vibrations. Yeah.
So you may actually find with an exercise like this that it actually gets easier as you get further into it.
Yeah.
So it's actually, especially
it.
for one like this, it's actually good to play it from the beginning to make sure that at all different speeds that your fingers can do this.
That checks out.
There's a lot of stuff that it's harder to play slow.
Yes.
But then you actually force yourself to do it right.
Right.
Which is good.
Right. And if you try to like just kind of blow through something, you might not necessarily be picking up what it's trying to.
No. You get to the end and you're like, yeah, I did that.
Yeah.
It's fine. It's fine.
All right. And we've got one last exercise that we're going to take a look at today. Do you remember what it is?
Yes.
I've got a list here. What is it?
It's
what
the one we
done?
didn't do, which is string switching.
String switching. You're right.
I know.
All right.
Look at the page.
Let's take a look at the.
Oh, I could have just looked.
Oh yeah,
just
or the
there.
giant screen that has it written in big blue letters. This is string switching.
Yes.
From Rocksmith Intermediate Exercises.
And we're also going to take
one.
this one from the end. So
we're going to take this one from the end. So
not the very end, but we're going to take it from a point pretty far in, so that way you guys can see where it's going to end up. And this is always going to go between adjacent strings, so you're not jumping over any strings, but it's
that would be
it's a lot of it's a lot of back and forth between two adjacent strings.
All right.
Oh, we're starting there. I'm just going to jump in here. We're going to try that one more time. Okay, we're good.
There we go.
We are good. And yet another reason to always play these from
the beginning.
because you don't want that happening in front of your friends.
Or a live
or
that was really good.
audience.
These are actually one of my favorites. That's not.
Cody knows exactly what he's doing.
That's actually one of the exercises that I actually frequent, or something very similar to it, before I play.
Okay.
Only because that whole kind of going between two different strings is something that really kind of both hands have to coordinate really precisely to make it happen.
Yeah.
And I find it's really useful to play before like going to play a gig or even before playing some songs in Rocksmith. It just gets your hands warmed up really well.
Sounds good.
That's all I got.
Yeah. Checks out.
Checks out.
Do you have any warm-up exercises before you perform?
No.
You don't even look at the song before you perform. Have you the song that you guys are about to play? Have you have you practiced it in the past few years?
Years.
Yes, we played it at Rocksmith Live.
Okay.
Nice.
So it's not a total.
I'll take
It's
it,
not.
Doug.
This is the
You're
one
welcome.
song we're playing today that I didn't note track.
Oh, okay. Well, that's
Oh,
good. That's
you
good.
no track the others. That's
yeah,
awesome.
yeah.
That's
Mind
fine.
Eraser, No Chaser was my first note track.
I think you did a great job.
Well, thank you.
Thank you. You're welcome. Now get those words right. All right. So to demonstrate some of this string switching and hammer offs / pull-ons, both,
And a little bit of just everything about to happen
everything
here.
else. Everything else. We're gonna play Pantera's "Cowboys from Hell" or "Cowboys from Heck." If you're looking at what I wrote, because I'm juvenile and. So Pantera, yeah. So you haven't played this in about a year.
I played it once earlier.
Okay, that's fine.
I pretty much
We're good.
play the whole thing differently than it's note tracked. 'Cause
Okay.
that's how I learned it.
Sure.
And I'm not going to unlearn it and play it correctly ever in my life.
Okay, but will you still be demonstrating some of the techniques that were just shown?
I will, just
Okay,
in different
perfect.
places
Yeah.
than expected.
Okay, that works.
Still holds true then.
Well, let's see. Well, let's see how your version of Cowboys from Hell sounds.
Different.
Okay. All right. And one last call for questions for UB Jurassic in the chat.
out. I'm on the bottom. Deleted hammer. Should have practiced my string switching. I told you it's easier all on one string.
Well, just because your parents tell you something doesn't mean you believe it. I wasn't calling you my parent, by the way. I think I did, though. Nice. Now I don't have to go to the gym.
Yeah. You're good. You're set for the week or the day. I don't know what your schedule is. So before he left for paternity leave, Anthony Martinez and I had a few conversations about solos and the construction of solos and how a good guitar solo should sort of tell a story. You should have swells. Yeah, there's an arc. You want to lead people along and give them little breaks, but then heighten and back down. And that is one of my favorite guitar solos.
Yeah, it totally does that.
You just pulls you down this. Everything makes sense. It's so nice.
Yeah.
I just want to appreciate that for a moment. All right. And we do have a few questions. Tufty McTavish wants to know, I guess you had a slide down before we started this song.
Okay.
Tufty wants to know, when you slide to the headstock of the guitar, when something is noted, you slide to the headstock, where do you tend to terminate the slide?
Oh, Good question. So I think if you're going to kind of give that all the way down the next slide, the best thing to do is actually let it terminate itself. Make sure your finger comes away around the second or first fret, because sometimes nuts can actually be like fairly sharp on the edge, and you don't actually want your finger running into that, because you could actually kind of puncture your finger on some of them. But if you make sure as you're coming down that you release the string, it will almost create like a pull-off to the open string. But very often what you're going to do at that point is mute the string anyway. And so
you've sort of got like an implied couple of notes there.
As you're releasing pressure, the note's actually going to diminish in volume. And so it's almost like a fade out, if you want to think about it that way. And you can't really tell its end point. But I would suggest kind of fret 1 or fret 2. Just make sure you don't go as far on the string as to actually collide with the nut, because that you don't.
Yeah,
you don't these things are precious.
Yeah.
So you don't want to just run them into things.
Because then you won't be able to slide for a few days at least.
Yeah, or you'll just have to use a different finger, like your pinky, and nobody likes doing that.
Right. Oh,
who does that?
Who slides? Yeah. Why would you? You just said it was a bad idea, and then you did it anyway.
I had to show people why it's a bad idea. Do as I say, not as I do.
Sure. Brian, would you agree?
Sure.
Okay. You're just gonna blanket agree with everything I said. That's great.
Beardy wants to know if that is a single strap or multiple straps combined.
It is a single strap that likes to attempt to fall off.
Okay. So maybe you should have multiple straps combined.
Yeah, I think it's one of the mono price ones. Yeah.
Okay. Good answer. That was to the point. We had another one. I'm going to try to pick this one apart. Not pick it apart. Make sure I understand the question properly. Skull and Cross asks, I believe this is a Riff Repeater question. Not the riffrepeater.com, but Riff Repeater, the feature in game where you can slow down sections of the song. Skull and Cross says when they set the speed to slow, but as they play, it automatically increases speed. But when I've not learned chords and somewhat single notes all the time, I'm not quite sure what the question is, but let's talk about Riff Repeater for a bit. Because you can manually adjust the speed and the difficulty.
Yes.
The difficulty will add more notes, typically, whether that be filling out the chords or just adding more notes between spaces.
Yes.
And you can set each of those individually as far as how often it will increase or decrease in speed or difficulty.
Yeah, there are speed and difficulty repetitions that you can set individually.
So you can turn it off if you want. If you just want to repeat the same section at the same difficulty, the same speed, you can do that.
I think the setting is infinite. Yes.
You're right. Yeah. And or otherwise, you can set it to be more or less strict. So there are options in the tools. Hopefully, we answered your question. If not, reach back out to us, and we'll try to see what's going on there. And I think we've got. Is that? We've got some. When I set the speed, I've got a lot of the same. I think question repeated. I'm not sure what Brian's trying to get to me.
Maybe the question's in Riff Repeater.
Maybe. Because it's repeating the same thing over and it could be. Could be.
You didn't like that one?
We'll try to figure it out. We'll get back to you
Wasn't my worst
on that
joke.
one very soon. And I think anything else you wanted to say about this pack of yours?
Well, first of all, I hope everybody that is interested in doing exercises or warm-ups finds this to be really useful. But I thought we might have talked about kind of giving another little piece of information out today. Did we still want to do that?
Yeah. I think it's fine.
So we gave an easy pack, and we're very glad to hear that everyone who's gotten it seems to have enjoyed playing it, and we're hoping for the same for this intermediate, of course, because we want you guys to be able to improve your skills and everything like that. So, but for some of you who have been playing quite a long time, this might still not kind of feel like, as aggressive as you'd want it to be. So we're going to give you an advanced pack, and we're going to pump up the complexity. We're going to pump up the note densities. You're going to be playing even faster. And I'm not going to tell you when it's coming out, but we're preparing that one for you, and we'll have it. We'll have it for you, and for those of you who want that extra notch up to the advanced level, it's coming your way.
It is on the way. And with that, I want to thank both Greg Studley and Brian Pody for joining us again. We are going to do one last giveaway, and then we're going to come back and kind of wrap up some logistical stuff. So right now, if you would like a chance to win, am I doing this right? Am I at the right point? I think I'm right. Yeah. If you want a chance to win the second of 2 Ernie Ball prize packs, please listen to what UB Jurassic is saying in the chat. Once more, that is Brian Turner. He is your community manager over in North Carolina. He will tell you what you need to do for a chance to win this pack. If you win, make sure you look for a whisper from Brian. So make sure you have your whispers turned on so that he isn't blocked when he tries to reach out to you to get your full name, your shipping address, and your telephone number. We do need all of that information in order to get your prize to you. And as soon as we fill out the shipping form and get that on the way, we get rid of that information. We don't keep it. We don't store it. It's just deleted and gone. And then you get your prize and everything's cool. So yeah, and if you do win and he reaches out to you for that information, please, if you're able, especially if you are outside of the U.S., which we do ship outside of the U.S., but if you're a winner outside of the U.S., please just split up your address line by line so that I write it down properly. Don't mess up your address, and your package gets to you as soon as possible. And I want to say thank you again for hanging out with us on this Wednesday. It's a bit unusual. Next week, we will be back on our usual Thursday stream. Thursday, it'll be 3 p.m. Pacific time, just like this one, just like all of our streams, almost all of our streams. So that will be next Thursday. If you're on social media, we are at Rocksmith Game on both Twitter and Instagram. On Facebook, it's just facebook.com/Rocksmith. So come say hi on any of those platforms. And then next week's song pack will not be an exercise pack. It will be it will have songs that aren't exercises per se. So if you want an idea of what's coming next week, hit up the forums tomorrow morning. Go to rocksmith.com and click on the button at the top that will take you to the forums. And there we will have a clue in the morning posted by UB Syraxia. Sorry, did I say tomorrow? I meant Friday morning because today isn't Thursday. Friday morning, go to the forums. Check out the clue that is created by RS222, one of your fellow community members. And you will have some insight into what is coming next week. You'll get a look at a song and what the pack will be. So hit up the forums early Friday morning to look for that clue, and we will see you then. Thanks for joining us. This is Rocksmith Game. I'm Doug Lilly. I'll see you next week. And if you're in the U.S.,